Hello everybody and welcome back to a brand new episode of the NASCAR Heat 5 Career Mode. I hope you're all having a great day. Today we go racing for the second race of the season in all three series, the Truck Series, the Xfinity Series, as well as the Cup Series. But first up, of course, is the Truck Series race here at Texas Motor Speedway, where we now have subscribers in the truck randomly chosen each race. And today we had a very interesting name, Reet McChicken Nugget. Yes, Reet McChicken Nugget was in the truck. You guys certainly come up with some creative, some unique, funny names at times, and we just so happen to have one get chosen for today's race. But here we are in the number 77 truck, starting a little bit in the midfield area. The truck still isn't as great as I anticipated, you can say the least now, as Reet goes down towards turns 1. So we were just hoping really for a top 15, because Las Vegas, as you guys know, is a track that we have struggled at quite significantly in the past, and I've really changed things up going into the Cup race for today's episode, because last season in the Cup Series we struggled so hard at this mile-and-a-half racetrack that I knew we really got to change things up if we want to be successful at this track now. As Reet McChicken Nugget comes through out of turns 4, going down this front straightaway, passing the 45 of Majeski there as he came through to cross the line to complete this first and opening lap as he goes down into turn 1 now. As he continues, though, the side-by-side battle, Majeski is actually able to get back ahead of him there, as they're going to be 3 wide with Majeski and a new rookie of Haley Deegan as it goes down this back straightaway. Majeski kind of pulls out of that battle as it goes down into turns 3, so now Deegan just in front of Reet McChicken Nugget. Now as it came through a little bit later here in the race, still with Majeski just behind him, but Deegan actually was able to stay ahead of Reet here as he came down the front stretch. So still kind of struggling though, because he couldn't really close that gap, and then he did get passed by the 45 of Majeski, so he settled in behind Majeski, and then he would actually get passed though by John Hunter Nemechek in the 8 truck as he came through turns 3 and 4. So he come through a little bit later again, and he actually once again got some more pressure from another driver of Austin Wayne Self as he came through turns 1 and turns 2. So he loses yet another position there, as the truck just wasn't good enough, straight up just wasn't good enough to just run down the trucks up ahead and just compete for anything, as it goes down into turn 3 now here in the Strat 200 at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Still side by side there, but then he just couldn't quite fight with Austin Wayne Self, so it came straight to the final lap as it came down into turn 3 and towards turn 4 now here in Las Vegas. So a subpar day actually somehow ended up being worse than Daytona, so we come through to cross the line. Reet McChicken Nugget comes through just behind Austin Wayne Self there for a 19th place finish. Not a very good race at all for us here, as Austin Hill picks up the victory. So a solid race for Hill. He is now, of course, in the Truck Series playoffs. Now, as you see the rest of the finishing order now, as we're going to get going for the Xfinity Series weekend here, where, of course, like I said, I'm not going to show all the Xfinity races this season, but I decided to show this one because it was my first Xfinity Series race of the season in the number 20 Star Car, because I wanted to get a little bit more experience at Las Vegas, just considering, like I mentioned earlier, Las Vegas in the Cup Series, a track that I really have been struggling at so far in the career mode, and I really want to improve my performance here. So trying to get as much experience as I can. We'll get underway from not a good starting position. I was down once again, kind of similar to the truck race, about the midfield portion of the field now, as go down towards turn 1, just behind that 0 of Jeffrey Earnhardt now as we come through the center of the corner. So looking towards a top 10 if possible now as we come through. Now we're going to go 3 wide potentially there with Earnhardt, as Ross Chastain leads the way down the backstretch. He remains here in the Xfinity Series as well as the Cup Series in the career mode this season here as we come through the center of the corner, closing in on the back now of the 7 of Justin Allgaier. Sure enough, we're going to get to the outside of him, being a little bit aggressive here on this opening lap now, as we're going to also try to get to the outside of the 18 of Riley Herbst, who does remain, but he did stay clear of me as we went down into turns 1 now, as I continue though to try and make this third lane up work and get myself to the outside of that 18, but couldn't quite make it work now as go down the back straightaway, closing in on the back of the 18 very quickly, but we settled in right here, and then we would actually come through a little bit later and get to the outside wall on the exit of turns 4, costing me some time actually as you come down this front straightaway, allowing Jeremy Clements to close the gap to the back of myself. But just kind of like the truck race, the car didn't feel great, but we would run down the 18 of Herbst again, get to the inside of him this time as we went down into turns 1, and this was actually on the final lap of the race, because I spent the rest of the race making up the time that I lost for hitting the outside wall. So we come through down this back straightaway for the final time, right on the back of Riley Herbst as we go down into turns 3 for the final time. We're going to send it up the inside if we can, but no, Herbst looks like he's going to hang on. We slide up the track on the exit of turns. We're nearly making contact. We hit the outside wall just a little bit there on the exit of the corner, and we're not going to have a good finish again here in the Xfinity Series at Las Vegas Motor Speedway as we come through for a 14th place finish now as Ryan Sieg picks up the victory over second place of our Joe Gibbs Racing teammate of Brandon Jones, who once again returns to that car this season. We might see him make a move up to the Cup Series eventually. I'm not quite sure yet. Does he deserve a Cup ride? You guys let me know. But now it is time to go into the Cup Series weekend here, where we're going to have the first silly season news of the season. Kurt Busch to retire at the end of the season in the career mode. The 2004 Cup Series champion has announced this will be his last season in the Cup Series. I'm very excited to fight for one last championship is pretty much what Kurt said. So Kurt Busch done at the end of the season in that number 1 car. So who's going to replace Kurt Busch over at Chip Ganassi Racing? No idea absolutely who I'm going to put in yet, but we are going to obviously decide on that at a later date now as we come through, though, into qualifying here in Las Vegas through turns 1 and 2. So now Kurt looking to maybe get a win here at his home track in Las Vegas, knowing he only has 2 more chances to do so now as we come through out of turns 4, going down this front straightaway. The goal was a 30.960. We come through to cross the line for a 30.971, so close to the goal, and we go for a very solid P11 qualifying effort here in the Pennzoil 400 at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. So happy with that, to say the least. Kyle Larson qualifies 12th place. Daniel Suarez P16 in the new car. Gregson, a rookie, in 17th. Kyle Busch, our teammate, P1. Chase Elliott P2 there, as you got Alex Bowman up there in that 9th position. A rookie of Chase Briscoe in P4 as a notable. Harvick down in 15th, which was a bit surprising. There's Bubba Wallace down in the mid-20s. Byron as well. And then we got Michael McDowell to round out the grid now as we get ready to go green here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway for the Pennzoil 400. Of course, the pre-race kind of story is based on Kurt Busch announcing his retirement at the end of the season in the career mode. Kurt comes into the season over 30 wins, over 300 top 10s, and over 700 races completed in his Cup Series career, as well as a championship back in 2004. But now we get through into seeing what's going on here in today's race. Hamlin not looking very strong as Logano starting at the back after crashing during qualifying. Kyle Busch, of course, on the pole as we get ready to go green. Excited to see maybe if we can have a better run at this track than we have in the past too in our very first Cup season. Now as we get ready though to go green, which is now underway here in the Pennzoil 400 at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Alex Bowman on that road just in front of us there in that 9th position. Kurt Busch a few rows up in what will be his second to last race at his home track here as we go down into turns 1. Kyle Larson and Ross Chastain side by side just behind myself now as we come through out of the second corner. Hamlin a few rows back as well. Harvick, he's right there in the mix. Daniel Suarez having a very solid performance in qualifying. We could maybe see a good run out of him here as we go into the third turn. Kyle Busch, though, currently out front as we exit turns 4. Martin Truex Jr., our other teammate for Joe Gibbs Racing, up there in the mix as well with Kyle, as it's Bowman side by side currently with Ryan Blaney as we come through to 18 laps to go as we go into the corner there. You see the 88 of Eric Jones so far having a good start to his new team here with Hendrick Motorsports as we get up the inside of Bowman now as we exit turns 2 as well. We get up the inside of Brad Keselowski, so a very good start here in the first lap and a half as we go down into turn 3. There you see a rookie of Chase Briscoe here on the outside of Eric Jones. We slide up in front of Keselowski, then we sure enough would carry the momentum, get to the inside of Briscoe on lap 3 and pass him as well as we came through now down the back straightaway. Now we're going to get to the left hand side of Eric Jones, and we have a potentially top 5 car at this point here in this first stage as we dive down into turn 3 now, clearing Briscoe on the exit of the corner. Now we're still going to be side by side though with Eric Jones as he might clear us down the front stretch, but he goes a little bit high there, allows me to stay up the inside here as we're going to be side by side, but no, he clears us as we exit the tri-oval down into turns 1. Briscoe actually gets back up my inside, and now we might go 3 wide between the rookie of Briscoe and then the 88 of Eric Jones here as we go down this back straightaway side by side. Sure enough, 3 wide in the middle as Kurt Busch battles for 3rd place in front of us with the 9 of Chase Elliott there as Briscoe not afraid to be aggressive here in just his 2nd ever Cup Series race now as we come through out of the corner. He does indeed clear us, and they're going to be side by side with him and Eric Jones. And sure enough, out of turns 2 on lap 5, Briscoe clears Jones as I get to the inside. So now we're going to pass Eric Jones and then get back up the inside now of Chase Briscoe as we dive down into the corner. So trying to clear Briscoe again and take over that 5th position officially now as we exit turns 4. Briscoe's not afraid to spice it up, is he? He's definitely going to be an aggressive rookie to watch this year. Now you heard my radio transmission just talking about Chase Briscoe as he actually checked up going into the corner for some reason, and that allowed me to get clear of him now as we came through turns 1 and 2. But look at the pack of cars that were battling behind us now as we came through on lap 7 through turn 3. I decided to actually experiment and run the top in 3 and 4, and I determined very quickly that was definitely not going to be the strat because it completely left the door open for the 88 car of Eric Jones. There's a right on his right rear quarter panel, side drafting pretty hard as we go down into the corner. And you can definitely make the top work through turns 1 and 2, but just through 3 and 4 it doesn't work very well. So we'll come through on lap 9, and I was still side by side with the 88 of Eric Jones here as we came through the corner. Kurt Busch, he was running down the front 2 drivers now as those Truex and Kyle Busch still out front. Now as Ryan Newman's going to get in the mix and make it 3 wide between myself and Eric Jones. Ryan Newman having a great run here in Las Vegas in this first stage. I did say in the offseason video, I turned Ryan Newman's rating down, so it really surprises me. I guess he just has a really good car here today in Las Vegas Motor Speedway now as we come through still side by side with Eric Jones, but we finally do clear the Hendrick Motorsports driver there down the backstretch and then set our sights once again on the back of Ryan Newman, who's always just a thrill to try and pass now as we go down towards turn 3. And you can see that all of us are kind of closing in on the back of Chase Elliott, but as that's happening, we have issues down the back straightaway. The 37 of Ryan Preece blows the right front tire. He goes into the outside wall, collects Noah Gragson just a little bit, who got a bit of damage now as a caution is out here at Las Vegas. And you see a little bit maybe of a potential mixed strategy there. A few cars might stay out here. I take 2 cans of fuel as well as 4 tires. No adjustments. I really like the car, and sure enough, 3 drivers stay out. Cole Custer, Tyndale, and David Reagan. Custer having a bit of a rough run today too, which kind of surprises me now, as though the green flag is back out. 5 laps remain here in stage 1 once we cross the line, so we actually get ahead of Chase Elliott after pit stops here as I immediately get right there on that quarter panel of Truex, trying to pull him back just a little bit. But there's going to be a huge opportunity here with these 3 cars that stayed out. They're going to be so much slower that I'm going to jump up to the outside, make it 3 wide with our teammates of Kyle Busch as well as Truex. Unfortunately, the 13, he slides up in front of me. Truex is going to continue to go 3 wide as well with myself and David Reagan through turns 3 and 4, but I'm going to carry the momentum to pass the 13 as well as get to the outside of Custer and pass him for the lead as we come through down the front straightaway. Truex, unfortunately, and Newman are going to both get past as well, but we come through to lead the lap here, and now we have 4 laps to go in stage 1, and immediately Martin Truex Jr. is able to get to my inside through turns 1 and 2, and I'm much better on the top in turns 1, so I decided we had to stay with the top lane, and that allows, though, Truex to get side by side with myself down this back straightaway as we go down into the next corner. Kyle Busch and Ryan Newman as well closing very quickly now as Truex is going to easily get clear as we exit turns 4, and Kyle's just going to kind of breeze on by as well. So we clearly right now do not have the speed to contend with Truex and Kyle Busch. I'm going to throw a big block on Ryan Newman. I saw the run coming and I didn't feel bad for it because he's made it's so tough to pass him here in some past races of the career mode. Now as we come through out of turns 4, Kyle Busch would pass Martin Truex Jr. for the lead. Newman coming to the white flag though in stage 1 actually gets to my inside. He had a big run on the exit of turns 4. Now it's going to be a scrap between myself and the Roush Fenway veteran of Ryan Newman as we come through turns 1 and 2 on this final lap in stage 1. Chase Elliott just behind there in that 5th position. We do have a bit of a run, not as strong of a run as I was hoping. As we go down into turn 3 though, we're going to send it up the inside of Newman. Truex putting pressure on Kyle Busch on this final lap here in stage 1. Kyle pushes up a little bit, but Newman's going to very well defend the position as we exit turns 4. He's going to hang on for 3rd. We come through to cross the line for a 4th place finish here in the first stage. Chase Elliott just down there in P5. Kyle Larson P6, a very strong run from Kyle Larson so far as the rookie Chase Briscoe rounds out the top 10. Eric Jones in the 88 car there in that 8th position. So a solid first stage for us, so way better than what we've had here in the past at Las Vegas. Very happy with that. No adjustments again. We would take 2 cans of fuel as well as 4 tires as we get ready to go green for the 2nd stage here in Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Solid car so far, guys, but Kyle and Martin are really fast, and hopefully we can find that speed. Maybe the long run will give it to us. There you heard the radio just kind of emphasizing that I hope the long run maybe is going to give us that long run speed compared to Kyle Busch as well as Martin Truex Jr. Kyle Larson beat Chase Elliott off of the pit lane, so a bit of a swap there in positions now as the green flag is back out. Stage 2 underway. Ryan Newman having a great run here in Las Vegas. Definitely keep your eye out for him here as we go down towards turn 1. There wasn't really any R&D changes for Roush Fenway Racing coming into the season. They're still about the same as last season. A bit of a struggle now as we come through side by side with the 43, sorry, of Kyle Larson now as he gets just in front of me about by half a car length, as Joey Logano, who started at the back of the field, has worked his way up almost into a top 5 position now as we exit turns 4. Truex under attack from Ryan Newman. Newman clears Truex, moves into second place here as we go down this front straightaway, completing the first and opening lap of the second stage, and now Truex is under fire from the 43 of Kyle Larson here as we go into the corner. Kyle Busch, he runs that third lane, and I'm going to join him on that lane as well now as we come through out of the corner. Right though behind the 19 of Truex, he had a bit of a checkup there, did not run into the back of the 43 of Larson. So we now run P6, but potentially dropping now down to P7 as Logano passes me. Elliott down to P8 just behind us. He was dropping a little bit there as I make contact with Truex on the exit of turns 4 and lap 3. But we all keep it going now with 14 laps to go here in stage 1 as we dive down into turns 1. Sideways goes the 19 of Truex. He makes a big save there as we do avoid him. Lose a bunch of time for that, but I felt kind of bad because, I mean, we ignited that. But at the same time, should the AI really completely lose the car right there? Absolutely not. We made contact like 15 seconds ago, but then the caution would actually come out a few moments later here as we were going down the front straightaway. Could not find the reason for this caution, but obviously caution's out and nobody coming to the pit lane, so we are as well going to stay out here on the racetrack at Las Vegas. So it actually looked like it was Joey Gase who brought out the caution, and Suarez having a bit of a rough run, and so is the rookie of Noah Gragson, who, based off the ratings, I expect to be running much better here in the career mode. So a bit of a surprise that he's running in the mid-30s now. As the green flag, though, is underway, Kurt Busch has found himself now out front with 10 laps to go here in Stage 2 for the Pennzoil 400. Ryan Newman right there on the back of Logano. We have some kind of surprising names up here like Ryan Newman, even Kyle Larson, who's in the 43 car. Honestly, though, I can tell you that the 43 has made some R&D improvements over the offseason that I expect that 43 team to be a team that can contend for a playoff position and maybe the occasional victory here and there as we come through. Now hitting that apron sideways, we slide up to the 43. Now 3 wide in the middle between the 9 of Chase Elliott as well as Kyle Larson as we go down this front straightaway. Elliott's going to get us at the line. Now it's Truex. He's going to get to the inside as well. Just behind as well, we got Eric Jones with Ryan Blaney side by side into turns 1. Joey Logano, though, passes Kurt Busch for the lead now as Kyle Busch kind of fades as we're going to be 3 wide with Larson and Elliott down this back straightaway now with less than 10 laps to go here in Stage 2 as we go down into the corner. Such a competitive field that we got going now as well at this point here in the career mode. And honestly, it's only going to get more competitive now with these R&D improvements that I can kind of bring into the career mode now with rating changes and whatnot. There's Larson actually backed out of the 3 wide, so now it's just myself and Chase Elliott side by side as we go down into the corner once again, all the way up towards that outside wall here as we come through out of turn. So I felt like I went up a little bit too high there, so I didn't get as huge of a run as I was looking for. We still did get a good run, and we were continuing to be side by side with Elliott, but then Truex actually forced a 3 wide, drives right by myself as well as Chase Elliott, moves himself up into P5 as we're still side by side with the Hendrick drivers. We get right on his right side there for a moment here as we go into the corner again, and now the 43 of Larson gets back into the mix, and now he makes it 3 wide again now as we come through turns 1 and 2. Some great racing so far here in Stage 1 as well as Stage 2 in Las Vegas. Now as we're going to both clear Elliott though down the backstretch into turn 3, and then sure enough I put the attack on Larson now to turns 2 on lap 13. I slice to the inside of him here as we go down into turn 3. Logano still out front now with Kurt Busch, and then Kyle Busch, Truex, Newman all in the mix there as I clipped the apron. We were sideways there, nearly making contact with the 43 of Larson. He stays clear as we come through down the front stretch, now leaving the door open for the 9 of Chase Elliott and the 48 of Alex Bowman, who's back in the mix here with just 4 laps to go in Stage 1. So Bowman, he gets clear. We though fight back with 2 laps to go right to the back of him. I'm deciding to go to the bottom, of course, here as we dive down into turn 3. Truex now leads, approaching the final lap now in the second stage as we're going to actually just breeze right on by the 48 of Alex Bowman. So we clear him on the exit of turns 4 and now try to set our sights on Kyle Larson on this final lap now in the second stage here, as now Martin Truex Jr. looking for that playoff point. Kyle Busch battles it out with his teammate, or sorry, with his brother of Kurt Busch there in that one car for that second position here, as we have the run on the back of the 43 of Kyle Larson here as we go down this back straightaway into turn 3, using that second lane here, trying to get the best run we can through the center of the corner. And sure enough, we are closing on the back of Larson. We look to the outside now as we exit turns 4. Not going to be enough though. Larson will hang on to the position as Martin Truex Jr. comes home with stage 2 victory now, as we get P7 here in stage 2. So still at the end of the day, 7th place in stage 2, nothing to be disappointed with at all, as Chase Elliott and Ryan Blaney round out P9 and P10. Kevin Harvick down there in 11th place, which was a bit of a surprise to myself, but we would come back to the pit lane, of course. Once again, no adjustments. I thought the car was good, and I didn't really feel like I could get the car to just drive much better than it was at this point, so I didn't want to really risk it now, as we have a top 10 car, and maybe if things play out right, we can find ourselves in the top 5 with a potential chance at victory here in Las Vegas. Like I said, guys, I still really like the car, so hopefully it remains that way for this final stage. We'll get what we can out of it. So we come through into stage 3, passing Kyle Larson on the pit lane now. So we're going to be lining up in P6 here for the start of the third and final stage, which is now underway at Las Vegas Motor Speedway for the Pennzoil 425 laps remain here at Las Vegas. Martin Truex Jr., Kyle Busch on the front row. Newman gets such a good launch, he slides up in front of me for some reason. Not sure why he decided to go up here, but now we're stuck behind him as we come through the center of the corner. Bowman gets past Larson as well. Now as Elliott's going to look to my inside as we go down this back straightaway on this first and opening lap of the third and final stage now, as it's really been down between Kyle Busch, Martin Truex Jr., Kurt Busch, as well as Joey Logano for the majority of this race. Newman's been in the mix, but he just hasn't quite had the speed to lead this race here as we go down the front straightaway. We're going to make it 3 wide between him and Chase Elliott now as we're up the middle as we complete the first and opening lap of the third and final stage now. Kurt Busch side by side right now with Martin Truex Jr. for that lead position, as we're going to be 4 wide. Harvick forces it 4 wide as we exit turn 2, contact with Ryan Newman. Elliott backed out of it at the last moment. We all keep it going now, thankfully, as we go into the corner. So Harvick being very aggressive here into turns 3 now. He goes up my inside as well, and he might be able to clear me on the exit of turns 4. And sure enough, we kind of fade in right behind the 4 as well as the 6, but we get right on that right rear quarter panel of Harvick, so we pull him back a bit, but then I give him the room here with 23 to go, and we just fade in behind him here in that 9th position as we dive down into the corner, back up to the top once again here as we come through the center of turns 1 and 2. Harvick actually went winless all of last season in our career mode, which was a bit of a surprise. So did the 9 of Chase Elliott. Ryan Newman didn't, though. He actually won the Daytona regular season finale, where I came up just short of 2nd place there, just like we did in the Daytona 500 this season as well. We've come up short a few times of a Daytona victory now as we come through out of turns 4. There's problems behind, though. Quinn Houff goes spinning hard into the outside. Well, a big hit there on the outside, while David Reagan involved as well. That was very heavy contact for the 0-0 of Quinn Houff. Obviously, the caution is out after a hit like that, a brutal hit, but we would stay out here from the pit lane and get right back into the action now. So that was a bit of a surprise to see Houff hit so hard like that, but now we get ready to go back green here from the 9th position, just behind the 4 of Kevin Harvick now. So it wasn't the start to stage 3 we were looking for. This has probably been about the worst we've been position-wise since probably, early stage 1, if I'm not mistaken. So a bit of a kind of surprise to be back here now as we get down into turns 1. Kurt Busch, with help from his brother of Kyle there in 3rd place. Kurt easily clears Martin Truex Jr. out of turn 2. Alex Bowman up in the top 5 now, getting back up in the mix now as we're side by side here down the back straightaway with the 22 of Joey Logano, the 2018 Cup Series champion here, as he made the Final 4 last season in our career mode, but came up just short of a championship, as of course Jimmy Johnson went out in as an 8-time Cup Series champion now as he is retired from the career mode. But maybe we will see a little bit more of Jimmy Johnson at some point in some way here in the career mode now, so keep tuned for some news about that throughout the season. Now as we're going to get aggressive though, making a 3 wide between Larson as well as Harvick down this back straightaway there, as I just kind of carried my momentum right to the outside of the 4s, go down into turn 3, but I realized it wasn't going to work into 3, so I backed out, get right in behind the 4 of Kevin Harvick. We're still up the inside of Larson, sure enough into turn 3 on lap 52 now. I would still be up the inside of Larson, but we would clear him as he went all the way to the top there as we came through out of turn 4, now looking to the inside of the 48 of Alex Bowman. And he looks to be kind of fading at this point now as the run goes on. 15 laps to go here in Las Vegas as Kurt Busch takes the lead from Kyle Busch again here as we come through turns 1 and 2. Logano kind of following us as well now as we get up the inside as well as the 4 of Harvick as we exit turns 2. So just kind of continuing to move forward. It's pretty evident we have a good car here at Las Vegas as now we're fighting for that 4th position with Harvick. Harvick ran outside of the top 10 for the majority of the day now as we're sideways there after hitting the apron. Now Logano forces a 3 wide up the inside as we come through down through the tri-oval, and so we lose a position there. Just a driver error on my part, and unfortunately we gave up a spot to Joey Logano because of that now as we're still side by side with the 2014 Cup Series champion of Kevin Harvick, but we clear him now on the exit of turn 2 as we close in once again to the back of Logano. We want to make a move on Logano as quickly as possible and see if we have anything for those top 3 drivers. We're right on the back of the 22, nearly making contact, and we now get at the inside of the Penske drivers. We come through out of turns 4, very close quarters there. There's a little bit of contact with Logano. We're side driving him. He's sideways through the tri-oval, and Logano goes spinning through the tri-oval. Harvick and Elliott involved. The 48, the 12, the 6 all get a little bit of contact now as the 9 and the 22 take the worst of it as the caution is out here in Las Vegas there. As I got into the 22, we made contact. He went spinning through the tri-oval. Very unfortunate for Logano, but before we get going for this restart, there you see what's coming up next between Auto Club Phoenix, Atlanta, as well as Homestead, Miami. But the blame could definitely be put on me a little bit there. I felt a little bit bad for that restart, but I actually took 2 tires, by the way, on that pit stop. So we gave up 7 positions. And the reason I did this because I realized we didn't quite have the speed to run down Martin Truex Jr., Kurt Busch, as well as Kyle Busch, but we still have a good car. So I decided 2 tires might give us that extra speed that we need to run them down. But what a moment that was there, right, with Joey Logano. It's been a wild race so far here in Las Vegas. And, you know, I just came out of turns 4, and I got into his side, and unfortunately it was downhill after that for Joey. But obviously we have to keep our head down and focus on the rest of this race. Only 10 laps remain here in the Pennzoil 400 at Las Vegas as we come through out of turn 4, clearing the 88 of Eric Jones Blaney. He looks up the inside now. Ryan Newman as we come through the tri-oval. Kurt Busch leads out the line as he's trying to hang on to the victory. Blaney for some reason moves up the track, so I take a 3 wide with him and Newman. Of course, we don't want to leave anything on the line at this point here as we come through the center of the corner, closing in on the back of the 4 of Harvick. We're going to take the run almost to the outside, but it fades out right there on the exit of the corner, so we have to continue to try and fight to the inside of Harvick. We come through on lap 60 now, and we finally get that opportunity to sneak up the inside of him, as well as the 48 of Alex Bowman, but we clear Bowman here as we're side by side with Kevin Harvick. Then sure enough, this battle continues to lap 61, 7 laps to go, still side by side with Kevin Harvick, and you see the front 3 driving away once again. Kurt Busch, Kyle Busch, as well as Martin Truex Jr., but we clear Harvick for P5 and now set our sights on the 43 of Kyle Larson, who has had a great day here in Las Vegas. A great just second race comeback for him now as we come through out of turn 4, right on the back now of Larson, coming to lap 63 as the battle is on for P4. 5 laps remain. Maybe if we can pass Larson really quick, we could have maybe just a little bit of time to run down those front 3 drivers as Kyle and Kurt battle side by side for the lead. We exit turn 2, clearing the 43 now of Kyle Larson down the back straightaway. So up to 4th place we go, and out of turns 4 now on lap 63, actually getting the outside wall there on the exit of the corner. A major driver error from myself, and that allows the 43 to get past, as well as the 6 to Ryan Newman there. That's the first time today, I think, that actually hit the outside wall, but the car still was good enough that I fight back to the inside of Ryan Newman, and we clear him with no problem, get right back to the 43 of Larson. But obviously now we're not going to be able to run down the front 3 of Kyle Busch, who leads the Kurt Busch, who would actually retake the lead though with 2 laps to go in the Truex, of course, in P3, ready to pounce if something happens, as we have the run again on Kyle Larson. So with a lap and a half to go, we look back to the inside of him into turns 3 as we try to take over P4 once again. We clear Larson without a single issue as we exit the corner and head down this front straightaway, coming through to start the final lap here in Las Vegas. Kurt Busch, Kyle Busch, P1, P2, Martin Truex Jr., and P3 is Newman. Larson side by side. Just behind us now is Larson. He looks at the bottom through turns 1 and 2, but we're going to have the run up the corner where we should have absolutely no pressure at all here as we come through down this back straightaway for the final time in the Pennzoil 400 here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Kyle Busch has one last moment there trying to get to the inside of Kurt Busch, but it's not going to be enough Kurt Busch holds off Kyle Busch to win Las Vegas Motor Speedway in his final season of his Cup Series career, and we come through to cross the line to finish in a very solid 4th place here in Las Vegas. So cannot be disappointed with a 4th place finish. Kurt Busch, though, with fresh off the announcement that he is retiring at the end of the season in the career mode, actually picks up the victory here in Las Vegas. So very happy for Kurt. There as you see the rest of the finishing order. Chase Elliott had a good car. Ended up finishing 20th, which is a bit of a surprise. As well, he's got Noah Gragson, the rookie, and Cole Custer both below 30th as Ryan Preece and Quinn Helv are your 2 DNFs of the day. Daniel Suarez also had a bit of a rough race here, but we actually are tied for the lead in the points after that one, which is really cool to see. We're really starting our second season off the right way, I feel like. Unfortunately, I couldn't get Jay for the post-race interview on this one, so we're just kind of by ourselves here. But just overall, a solid day here in Las Vegas Motor Speedway for the 20 team, and we want to, of course, carry that momentum over into the next one at Auto Club Speedway, a track that's a lot of fun, very bumpy track. Very excited to see what we can do there, though. And of course, just at the end of the day, we are just doing really good so far to start the season. Our worst finish of the season is P4 so far, so cannot complain with that, and I hope we can carry the momentum over into the next one, like I said, at Auto Club. And if we can just carry this momentum throughout the whole season, we can get some playoff points that we didn't pick up last season, and maybe have a much better chance down the line to fight for a championship. Already looking at the playoff points and towards the end of the season to try and get as many points as we can now. And as always, if you guys did enjoy this episode, you do know what to do. But before we end it, we're going to check out the points for all 3 series. There, as you see the playoff standings right now for the Truck Series. Hailie Deegan inside the playoffs right now in her rookie season. She finds herself in 8th. And then on the Xfinity Series side, Ryan Sieg and Matt Mills currently locked in the playoffs. I don't think Mills is going to last, but Sieg will. Then you see Austin Cindric there in P7. There's going to be an announcement coming up about Cindric pretty soon here. Zane Smith in his rookie season currently in P11. I think Gilliland, he said he was in as well. He was actually towards the top of the grid now. As you see the Cup Series grid right now. So we are P3, tied with Kyle Busch for the overall points lead, but 3rd and 4th here for the playoff points as Logano currently finds himself 1 point out. Newman's in, Bowman's in, Byron, as well as you see there, Brad Keselowski, Kevin Harvick, Chase Briscoe, and Harrison Burton, 2 rookies on the inside right now, as well as Kyle Larson is a final spot in right now. So that will do it, though, for this episode. Thank you all for taking the time out of your day to watch, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a great day, everybody.